Oh, Caroline, Diane had sighed. Derek deserves someone more ambitious. Leopardum shimmered under the soft glow of candlelight, the aroma of truffle oil hanging heavy in the air. My stomach dropped with each word. $312 worth of escargots and shattered dignity. My hands trembled almost imperceptibly, but I plastered on a tight smile. Inside, I was screaming. Outside, I remained composed. Later that week, a message pinged, promising truths. Could this be the start of something unexpected? Congratulations, Caroline District Manager. The notification flashed, hidden from view. Ever feel totally unseen? Subscribe now for karma served ice cold. Trust me, this underdog story gets wildly satisfying. The seed of this had been planted long before Leopardum. Christmas, 2 years prior, echoed with the distinct chime of bias. Diane had bestowed upon Derek a handcrafted leather briefcase. For your burgeoning career, darling, she'd cooed, the scent of rich leather filling the room. I received a generic gift card to a department store. Something practical, dear, Diane explained, her voice laced with a condescension I'd learned to recognize. While Derek's present symbolized ambition and potential, mine reinforced my perceived place. The practical, unaspiring girlfriend. The card sat, unused, on my dresser for months, a constant reminder. Another memory surfaced, Derek's 30th birthday trip to Napa. He'd casually mentioned his parents were gifting him a private wine tasting tour, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He never considered inviting me. When I delicately suggested it, he dismissed the idea. It's a family thing, you understand. The final straw snapped during a casual dinner with Amber, Derek's sister. Amber, bubbly and insightful, had confided in me about a promotion she sought. Derek interjected, laughing, "Don't get ahead of yourself, Amber. Some people are just meant for supporting roles." He looked pointedly at me. "Caroline understands, don't you, honey?" The words, dripping with faux affection, sliced deeper than he knew. That night I cried silently into my pillow, the weight of years of condescension finally crushing me. It was time for a change. The district manager role became my sanctuary. Nights bled into early mornings, fueled by lukewarm coffee and the burning desire to prove them all wrong. Sleep was a luxury, my tiny apartment a battlefield of spreadsheets and market analyses. The thin walls offered little respite from the sounds of the city, the constant hum of traffic mirroring the ceaseless churn in my mind. No sleep, no respite, no surrender. My first year was a whirlwind. I implemented new inventory management strategies, revitalized flagging stores, and mentored struggling employees. Each small victory fueled my resolve. Then came the regional awards. Most improved sales, highest customer satisfaction, and finally, District Manager of the Year. My name echoed through the ballroom, a sweet symphony of vindication. I kept it all hidden. Posting pictures of my cat on Facebook was my go-to. My family saw only the same old Caroline. Diane still called occasionally, asking about Derek, who she lamented was finding himself in Colorado. There was a tight knot in my chest each time that I didn't tell her. 2 years passed. My team flourished, my reputation grew, and my bank account swelled. I bought a sleek condo downtown, overlooking the city I now commanded. Still, my family saw only the retail manager. The annual Christmas card arrived, featuring Derek smiling sheepishly beside a ski instructor. "He's taking lessons," Diane gushed in the accompanying letter. The revelation almost happened at Thanksgiving. Diane asked what was new. "Oh, just work," I replied, carefully avoiding specifics. Amber, bless her heart, piped up, "Caroline's been working so hard, she's practically running that company." Diane laughed, a dismissive, pitying sound. "Oh, Amber, you always exaggerate. Caroline's a sweetheart, but she's not exactly a CEO." The air crackled. I gripped my fork, my knuckles white, the silence in the room thick with unspoken truths. I remained silent. The moment passed. Not yet. The invitation arrived via email, a garish digital flyer for Amber's engagement party. "Come celebrate with us," it blared, featuring a picture of Amber and some generic-looking dude. Diane had also called, her voice bubbling with excitement. "Caroline, you must come, it's been too long." A plan began to form during the call. The party was at their house, a perfect setting, no one would suspect anything. "I wouldn't miss it," ID said. Strategic preparation, I booked a stylist appointment for a subtle, sophisticated look. I chose a dress that whispered understated power, a deep emerald green that complemented my eyes. Status indicators. My old Corolla was traded for a Tesla. I would drive to the party. It would be a statement. The day arrived, a crisp Arizona afternoon. My hands were steady as I applied a light layer of makeup. Time marker, 4 hours before the party. I took a deep breath. This was it. Pulling into the Thompsons' driveway felt surreal. The house, once familiar, now seemed smaller, insignificant. The air vibrated with music and laughter. Past-present contrast. 2 years ago, I'd have nervously parked down the street, hoping to blend in. Today, I pulled right up to the curb, the sleek Tesla gleaming under the desert sun. I killed the engine. Time marker, I took another deep breath. As I stepped out, I noticed Diane on the porch. She beamed. "Caroline, you look wonderful." She pulled me into a hug, oblivious to the seismic shift about to occur. Subtle hints of changed dynamics. I hugged her back, a practiced cordiality replacing genuine warmth. "Amber's so excited you're here," Diane chirped, leading me inside. The house was packed with people, the air thick with the scent of cheap beer and awkward small talk. Family's obliviousness. No one seemed to notice the quiet storm brewing within me. "Make yourself at home," Diane said, then flitted off to greet another guest. Time marker, not for long. "So, Caroline, it's great to see you." Amber's voice cut through the din. Her eyes widened imperceptibly, taking in my appearance, the car parked out front. A flicker of recognition crossed her face, quickly masked by a polite smile. This was it, she was the first to recognize the change. I gave her a hug, holding her a moment longer than necessary. Derek sauntered over, a beer in his hand, his eyes narrowed. "Caroline," he drawled, a smirk playing on his lips. "Still at that retail job?" The mockery dripped from his voice. I smiled, a genuine smile that didn't reach my eyes. "As a matter of fact, Derek," I said, my voice calm and steady, "I'm no longer in retail." The temperature in the room dropped a few degrees. His smirk faltered. "Oh, get fired," he sneered, but his eyes betrayed a flicker of uncertainty. "Promoted," I corrected, savoring the moment. "District manager, covering all of southern Arizona." The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. Derek choked on his beer, sputtering and coughing. His face flushed crimson, a stark contrast to the smugness he'd worn just moments before. Shock registered in every line of his posture, his body language screaming disbelief. Diane gasped, her hand flying to her chest. "District manager, Caroline dear, are you sure?" Her voice wavered between disbelief and dawning realization. Amber, however, was the first to truly understand. Her eyes widened, her jaw dropping. "Wait, you're the Caroline, the one they talk about at Thanksgiving, the one who turned around that whole region." A hush fell over the immediate area as other guests started to notice the commotion. All eyes were on me. Their shock was intoxicating. The room spun. I took a sip of my water, letting the silence amplify the impact. "That would be me," I confirmed, my voice clear and confident. The shift in power was palpable, a wave of recognition washing over the room. I watched his world crumble, a delicious sensation. Derek, still red-faced, stammered, but you never said anything." "You never asked," I replied simply. The air vibrated. His face turned ashen. That's impossible, you're just Caroline." "I was just Caroline," I corrected, my voice laced with steel. "Now I'm your boss's 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 boss. Small world, isn't it?" The silence stretched, punctuated only by Derek's ragged breathing. The party was over, I had finally won. The color drained from Diane's face. "Derek, is this true?" she whispered, her voice trembling. He sputtered, trying to regain control, but the cat was out of the bag. This was the moment. "It's all true, Mom," Amber interjected, a mix of awe and shame in her voice. She turned to me. "Caroline, I had no idea, I'm so impressed." Her words were like a balm to my wounded soul. Derek, recovering slightly, tried a different tactic. "Caroline, honey, why didn't you tell us? We would have been so proud." The lie was pathetic, almost comical. "Proud?" I echoed, my voice dripping with irony. "You laughed then." "You're not laughing now." A beat of silence followed, amplifying his discomfort. I could feel my control solidifying. Diane, clearly reeling, attempted to salvage the situation. "Well, Caroline dear, this is wonderful news. Perhaps now that you're doing so well, you could help Derek out. He's been having a tough time finding his feet in Colorado." I raised an eyebrow, a silent question hanging in the air. "Help him how, Diane?" I asked, my voice dangerously soft. "Maybe, a loan, or perhaps an introduction to someone in your company," she pressed, desperation creeping into her tone. "I'm sure Derek can figure it out," I replied smoothly, offering a tight smile. The temperature in the room plummeted. Derek, sensing his opportunity, jumped in. Yeah, Caroline, come on. Family helps family, right? A little investment could really turn things around for me. His eyes shone with a desperate, almost predatory gleam. You laughed then. You're not laughing now. I looked at him, really looked at him, the years of condescension and manipulation swirling in my mind. He was a black hole, always taking, never giving. I would not be sucked in again. Derek, I said, my voice cold and measured, I'm not an ATM. And frankly, you've burned through any goodwill you might have had. I turned to Diane. Excuse me, I need some air. As I walked away, I heard Diane whisper to Derek, what did you do to her? A small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Outside, I inhaled the cool desert air, the weight of the past lifting from my shoulders. They underestimated me. They belittled me. Now they would pay the price. I turned, a smile playing on my lips. You know what they say, I said, loud enough for them to hear. Living well is the best revenge. And honey, I am thriving. But I wasn't done, not even close. This had been set up for a long time. Actually, I announced, turning back towards the stunned gathering, my voice carrying across the yard. There's something else you should know. The murmurs died down, replaced by an almost palpable tension. I pulled out my phone, navigated to a specific email, and held it up for all to see. Remember that wine tasting tour you gifted Derek, Diane? I asked, my voice calm, factual. The one that was family only, Diane's brow furrowed. Yes, what about it? She looked confused, unaware of the bomb about to drop. It was lovely, I continued, my eyes fixed on Derek's paling face. Except it wasn't just a wine tasting tour, was it? A low growl escaped Derek's throat. The game was up, and he knew it. I paused, letting the suspense build. It was an investment, a rather significant investment, in fact. You see, that vineyard, Thompson Family Vineyards, as it's so quaintly named, is in serious financial trouble. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Amber's hand flew to her mouth. Frank, Derek's father, looked like he was about to have a stroke. Legal terminology, the vineyard had been hemorrhaging money for years. What are you saying? Frank croaked, his voice barely audible. I'm saying, I replied, my voice ringing with quiet authority, that Thompson Family Vineyards is on the verge of bankruptcy. Shock ripples. The family was well regarded in the community, not to mention completely dependent on the business. I tapped my phone. And I, as of last week, own the majority shareholding. I've been buying up shares for months, in cash, at fire sale prices. Strategic surprise, they would have never anticipated it. I control its fate. The silence was deafening. Derek looked like he'd been punched in the gut. Diane swayed, clutching Frank's arm for support. Amber stared at me, her eyes wide with disbelief. You own the vineyard, Frank stammered, his face ashen. Physical manifestation of shock, he gripped his chest, his breathing shallow. I do, I confirmed, my voice firm. And I have some changes planned. I paused, letting the weight of my words sink in. I'm planning a complete rebranding. No more Thompson Family Vineyards. It'll be Caroline Cellars. I am planning to use the vineyard for my own entertainment as well, all of it. The color drained from Derek's face completely. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. Oh, and one more thing, I added, my voice sweet. I'm also planning to sell off the family home. It's on the vineyard grounds after all. I'm sure you can find somewhere smaller, more affordable. The Thompson family home, the heart of their identity, the physical symbol of their legacy, I now controlled it all. Legal leverage, this was it. Diane burst into tears. Frank slumped, defeated. Amber simply stared at me, her face a mask of shock and disbelief. I turned and walked away, leaving them to wallow in their misery. The taste of revenge was sweet. My family, the Thompsons, had thought they were so much better than me. They had thought they could control me, belittle me, and dismiss me. But they were wrong, very wrong. I was in control now, and I was just getting started. Time blurred. Diane attempted contact, her voice trembling with apologies, but Caroline remained distant, offering only polite, perfunctory responses. Amber, however, proved persistent, her genuine remorse forging a tentative connection. The condo transformed, filled with light and laughter reflecting Caroline's inner joy. Gone was the drab attire, vibrant colors now adorned her, mirroring her bold spirit. Looking back, Caroline realized she had not only broken free but soared. Reflecting on the ordeal, she acknowledged the pain but cherished the strength it forged. External validation had once defined her, now her worth resonated from within. Meeting her own needs became her priority. In the end, Caroline walked into a new life, head held high, a testament to resilience and self-worth. Revenge tasted sweet, didn't it? But real power. It's your story now. Take that fire, build your empire, share this if it resonates. Own it.